All right, Surviving Diddy. We finally here. We're finally here. We had a week off. I mean, life be lifing. So I bad,
Yeah.
y'all.
You
How,
know,
how are you doing?
taking life a second at a time. That's me being honest. A
I get it.
second at a time.
I
And it'd
get
be
it.
like that. But we back with our updates and trying to get a better understanding of what's happening here with this Puff Daddy racketeering, sex trafficking case.
All right, hold on. Before we even do it, we got to do it, y'all. Hold on. We got to do it. All right. Now, go ahead, Don.
Um, Before we get really into this, and I guess I should kind of wait, but as I was kind of trying to figure out what's been happening this week, or more so what happened today in court, because I got overwhelmed with the information. I just was like, okay, let me take a step back because it's so much from you know last time I think we talked about Don and then Q coming forward and saying, well, this happened like this, and then I woke up and she gave me something. People was laughing at me and recording me. Okay. Not to discredit anybody, and then we're learning about, Cassie's experience and other people's experiences, and they've brought in different experts regarding this. And actually, I believe another expert was brought in today because they circled back to the video that happened in the hotel to examine it because the prosecution only has like certain angles, and then I think that the defense is trying to say that this could be doctored, and I'm like, doctored how? It's you didn't you said you tried to say this was a lie, all of this stuff was a lie, then the video came out on CNN, and then you was like, yeah man, I did that, but people change. What more do you?
I mean, look, it's like this so far because I I'm super like what's so interesting about this whole case overall before we start talking about some more specifics is remember all them people like, man, I don't think Diddy gonna get locked up, man. I ain't seeing it. Hey man,
Yeah.
hey, I think the thing when the mama got on the stand, it was like, hey,
Yeah, I think that was a really pivotal turning point. But I know that people are still are confused to where the RICO is regarding this.
now
And
the
so and now
sex trafficking part, I don't think they'll get that, but the Rico's been proven.
so but and you and I listen this entire time.
It's
I
not the mafia, people. Rico does
Yeah,
not necessarily be the mafia. That's what people
and,
think.
and yes, and so as we spoke about this this entire time, I have been very open and adamant about how I don't know if they'll be able to prove the sex trafficking case because people did go on their own merit for the most part, right? It wasn't like somebody went to a party in Miami and woke up in Milan or New York, right? Like there were things that people did consent to, but like we talked about, like the sex, the law surrounding sex trafficking is very black and white. It is very literal, and so we don't think about a lot of the things that people can do day to day. They don't realize that it is technically that is a part of sex trafficking. So, um, because now you've had the assistants come in and say the part that they have played in orchestrating certain things. This is where we go back to we talking about the RICO. Now I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm gonna read Rico again for those people that may like just for the listeners. I'm gonna read it real quick of the how you get caught with a Rico. All right, so just to read it once again, any violation of state statutes against gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, robbery, bribery, dealing in obscene matter, or material, or dealing in a controlled substance or listed chemical and controlled substance act. Any act of bribery, counterfeiting, theft, embezzlement, fraud, dealing in obscene manner is considered the embezzlement of union funds, bankruptcy fraud or securities fraud, drug trafficking, long-term and elaborate drug networks can also be prosecuted in that. Criminal copyright infringency, money laundering and related offenses, bringing in or aiding, assisting aliens, and one of the other ones, like I said, is arson. So that's the thing. So the main thing that they're
He done blew up the boy car.
that's what I said: gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, bribery. That is what you're getting them on.
And I want to also explain sex trafficking again to everyone. And, if you're new here, sex trafficking is a form of human trafficking involving the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting a person of a person for the purpose of commercial sex acts, often involving force, fraud, coercion. I'm so country when I say that.
Coercion.
Or when the person is a minor, it's a crime under federal and state law. So now you have the trafficking part where the one guy, you've had a couple of people take the stand and say that they were recruited to perform sexual acts. Somebody said, hello, Langley Pearson. They got him in a massive fix.
Hey, look, it's a pickle, as they would say.
So I want to say something, and this is something I was thinking about as I was like following up and thinking about stuff. And I want to turn everybody's eyes to Gene Deal. Gene Deal,
St. Louis represent.
Yes, Gene Deal is a person that we have publicly and notoriously known for speaking open and honestly about his experience working for Diddy and Bad Boy. And I want to point out that he's worked for Puffy, Bad Boy, and quit a third and final time after that. The incident that happened in the office with Janice Combs that we spoke about on our podcast, involving her pretty much trying to make him an errand boy in that moment. And they were all under the understanding that is not his job. So stop asking him to do stuff like that. So the first time he quit was after the basketball game. And then he came back. And then the second time he came back and quit was after Biggie got killed. And then the final time, like I said, was that incident that happened in the office. And it's not really clear when his last employment date was. Like, that was something that I could not find on the internet.
I believe it's a couple of years after Big passed, I believe.
Yeah, I have to. And
because he tells a story about how and when, like he got it because he was trying. I think it was around his mother because he wanted him to like go.
Yes, like, that's what it was. She wanted him to go down and get something from the car, but this had already been issued. Yeah, like messing with him in the past. So an interesting thing is that Gene Deal has been spotted going into the court. Yeah.
Oh no, they gonna call him to the stand, you think?
Well, I don't know. But so that's the interesting part about all this, because he is so tenured with
after Cassie, before Cassie though, I believe.
But he would be before, and I thought that there was a little time span where they
may have overlapped. You saying maybe a little bit overlap.
But like I said, it's not.
Oh no, I think it is some overlap because I think it was some overlap. Yes,
it was like early on, so that's why I was saying it's so.
Then I was totally wrong about him living right after Big. He stayed almost another 10 years then.
Yeah, he stayed for a while after that, and so that's why I was saying it's a little interesting, and especially if the defense is trying to paint Diddy as innocent and this person is very loyal, and he talks about his loyalty in which is something that we do sometimes to a fault when it's people that we work with or we've had certain interactions with, because it's like, oh, you put food on my table, you paid me, blah 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 blah. So I think it's interesting that he's popping out and is in the audience amongst this case. Now, there was a rumor that he got into it with this YouTuber, but someone else is saying that that's not true. That it was actually somebody from security, Puffy security detail that actually got into it with this YouTuber. But the reason why, like I said, I just wanted to circle back to that is because he knows so much about the operations. Like we've seen him, throughout these different documentaries, or even the friend that we talk about. And like I said, we're still only week 4. This is supposed to go on for another 4 weeks. But my God. And you have people today, somebody, as the jurors were coming in, pretty much disrupted the courtroom and had to be escorted out screaming "Free Puffy," and let him go. He didn't do anything wrong, so this woman was escorted out. So I guess let's get into the nitty gritty of what kind of has been.
Yeah, Diddy's a super villain, y'all. Hey, look, we did not talk about the Kid Cudi thing, and man, this is not a funny case at all, y'all. Before I say this, but the level of petty he did with Kid Cudi, sans the car blowing up his car. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm talking about him coming in his house, opening all his Christmas gifts.
baby.
Hey, that's a level of petty, man. I can't.
Yeah, like it's
yo,
a lot.
I'm coming. I ain't even gonna put my hands on you. I'm gonna open up all your gifts before your family get them. Oh, no,
Yeah.
you bought your daughter a American Girl doll. She finna find out about it in the morning before you unwrapping it, because I unwrapped it.
Listen, that's just such
that
a wild.
was funny. That was funny, man.
But you're not gonna like lock my dog in a bathroom. And if I'm not mistaken, he also might have poisoned the dog or something. And then, but so that's what I was going to talk about, because what they were saying was this, bomb that was thrown into Kid Cudi's car. They were saying that it had fingerprints of a woman or something on it. I was like, how do y'all even know that? Like, that's just crazy. But I guess they were trying to tie it back.
Fingerprints of a woman, though.
I have no idea.
Maybe DNA of a woman, but I don't
maybe
know.
that's what it was. I'm sorry.
Okay.
DNA of a woman.
Okay.
But also it's like, how did if I took, like, did she spit in it? Like, well, how did y'all get that information?
Unless the person just dumb enough to have their bare hands on the bottle or some of the materials.
So I know we spoke about the assistant Capricorn, because she was the one that was also okay. So hold on.
And honestly, what I read, they actually did a good job with Capricorn. They actually did a good job with her.
Yes, and so this happened. I just want to get people up to see. This happened a few days ago, like last week, which we would have touched point on last week. I want to say that she said on her first day of working for Diddy in 2004, she claimed the last night rapper took her on a walk through Central Park around 9 p.m. Diddy allegedly discovered Capricorn had previously worked at Death Row Records with his rival Suge Knight, and told her that if anything happened, he would have to kill her. She also testified that she was allegedly forced to take a 5-day lie detector test after a bag of jewelry went missing. She told the court that in December 2011, Diddy allegedly showed up at her apartment with a gun in orders to get dressed because they were going to kill Cassie's then boyfriend, Kid Cudi. Former federal prosecutor Naima Rahmani told Fox, sorry, y'all, I did look up a Fox article, that as the third assistant witness to testify, Capricorn's testimony was also the most explosive thus far in this trial. When Combs found out that she previously worked for Death Row Records on her first day, Combs said that if anything happened, that he would kill her, and that was the beginning of the criminal threats and other violent activity, said Rahmani. Combs accused Clark of stealing diamond jewelry. His security locked her in an office and administered a lie detector test. They also told her that if she failed, they would throw her into the East River. They took her to the same office and questioned her with a lie detector for 5 days straight. That's an act. That's kidnapping and racketeering act.
Yeah.
So that alone. So I think people are thinking of it because everybody keeps talking about these guns that they found with the serial numbers scratched off or whatever. But people are not realizing like these little things, this bullying, this harassment, this is asserting yourself as the head of command, you in charge. Like you are acting like a mafioso boss. Like
He
we think
was
this,
setting out hits. Like,
like, yo, if I found out you sold the ceiling, I'm like, you gonna end up here. You cannot do that to people. And I think we as Black people are so conditioned to violent outbursts from people and a lot of things having to be some sort of struggle or it's always a problem, or this is a way that a person is asserts like their authority, that we think this is normal. This is just
yeah,
like it's not. And I think about that. We talk about struggle love and relationships and how a lot of times like the images and things that we see and how we're portrayed on television is always, it just can't be simple. So which is why I think a lot of people had an issue watching that show forever on Netflix because people were waiting for the shoe to drop. And it never did. It was just like this kid got ADHD and maybe Asperger's, and he in love with this girl that has
I
a
like it.
weird.
But we're going to have to review that on our regular show. I
We
like.
will, but a lot of people did not like it or connect to it, and I thought it was amazing writing or lighting and shooting.
That's a whole nother topic because that sounds ridiculous. That
Yeah,
someone.
it does, but I'm just saying because of that, like there's really no chaos for real, for real. People cannot connect and gravitate toward it. And
Because
so
they watch The Sopranos too much. They don't know how many people then got jammed up for racketeering as like regular people.
that's what I'm saying. Like they think it's like big boss shit like that, or like give me a mobster. I can't think.
John Gotti. John Gotti.
Yes, John Gotti. They think it's like that, but it's really not. And it's just also interesting because call 50 Cent to the stand. Subpoena because
You
he
see,
don't
he
get
said that
foot
he
on
wanted
his
to talk to
neck.
Donald Trump about not letting him get.
He's like, you listen. Foot on neck entire career. I don't know what else that man said to him when he offered to take 50 Cent shopping. He said something else because his foot has not let up off that man's neck.
But my thing like let me go back to the Kid Cudi thing for a second. That fool, he said he was sitting there in the window.
Yeah.
The only thing I needed for Cudi to say that he had a cat and was sitting there. Now that would have been even more gangster if Diddy had sat there with a cat rubbing it. So I hear you messing with with Cassie, right?
Yeah.
I mean that needs to stop, Playboy. That Playboy, that's got to stop. That's got to stop, Playboy.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that, Playboy.
So I want to go back to,
and he's petting it like this. It can't go like that, Playboy. And he cupping it. He got to cup it up under him. Dom, hold on. Let me.
oh my God.
Like he got to cup it. No, Playboy. No. That ain't gonna happen, Playboy. Playboy.
But I want to say that Romani said the attorney said that the defense scored some points on cross-examination regarding Capricorn's when Capricorn's settlement for wrongful termination was addressed in court. Additionally, Capricorn admitted that she had a crush on Diddy in text messages, and that she met with Combs in August to try to rejoin his team as his chief of staff. So, yeah. So they're just saying Clark was represented by Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni, which we have to at some point dissect Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. But Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, and in that meeting, she said that Diddy wouldn't be in this mess if he had kept her around, and that Ventura wasn't good for Combs. The defense is arguing that Clark is a disgruntled former employee who wants money and revenge and who is jealous of Cassie. So, yeah. So that's a little bit of what happened last week in court.
But so this is my question then. Like, so if we look at more of the case on a holistic level, they've been really rolling up, and I think they're trying to make some other people in his crew snitch. If you like the last couple of days, reading stuff, like what's the one assistant woman that's like supposed to be like his Ghislaine Maxwell type of chick, the white lady that's just like behind the scenes, she's pulling the strings.
Okay. Now that I don't have. Hold on, because I know that there is a there's a Mia.
Yeah, but that's not. No, this is one like in the documentary they had. Remember they were talking about her in a documentary that they did on Peacock.
Okay, I remember bits and pieces. It was so much to unpack. Yeah, but I remember like key, like not that she wasn't key, but I just remember like, oh, that's interesting, and that stuck out to me.
Because I remember her name, because she helps. She's because we're gonna talk about in a second. Like, so she's the one that helped set up the whole situation with the for the 100, and that's another thing, the $100,000 payoff for the tape. So
yeah, they talk about that too.
So that's the woman she was the one that helped set that up. Like she's
okay. So that comes more into play, I think, today.
It was just yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm like, I saw that they had an expert come in again regarding that tape, which was today.
Yeah. So because at first the dude didn't want to take the stand.
Yes.
But then they gave him immunity. And then he could.
And that's what I was going to talk about today. They gave him immunity, and then they also gave. There's another person. It's 3 people that have immunity, which was Eddie Garcia, George Kaplan, which is a former personal assistant to Combs, who talked about witnessing physical violence and fetching drugs for his employer, and Eddie Garcia. And then the other girl would be Brianna Bongolan. She won't be testifying immediately.
Christina Corman is her name. KK. Christina Corman is the woman I'm talking about. Keep going.
Okay. So this person, it was a lady that went on the stand today that's a friend of Cassie's, and she testified that Diddy dangled her, but it was like more so like he kind of pushed her over like toward like a balcony. He didn't dangle her, but he used force and told her that he would
Big Red,
yeah,
Big Red and Flash from the 5 Heartbeats. You try to say my office hours are from 9 to 5 on her.
Yes. So like I said, a forensic audio and video editor by the name of Frank Piazza is on the stand, expected to testify. He testified to the validity of the security camera footage that shows Combs attacking Ventura in the Intercontinental Hotel in the hallway of 2016. The parties have debated the scope and format of the video evidence, which is a key for the prosecution case, that Combs trafficked people for sex. Testimony from security guard Tuesday alleged that Combs went to great lengths to erase copies of the video, paying the guard and his co-workers $100,000 to hand over the only copy. So Frank Piazza also said that he helped correct investigators' copy of the 2016 video that showed Combs attacking Ventura at a Los Angeles hotel. Piazza said that the video he worked on was a cell phone recording of the original security camera footage and had been sped up due to how it was exported. This is common, he testified, and it did not indicate any tampering with the video. And like I said, the defense is trying to say that CNN aired a doctor version of the video that leaked last year.
Yeah, because so it gets deeper though. I'm you giving the great information, Dom. I'm going to give the hilarity here with the situation with the security guard that he talks about in the stand. So when he says that basically Diddy called him he called him his angel. He called Garcia his angel every time until he got the tape. Like he was calling him every day checking on him. Like, hey, he was like, I got to talk to my supervisor. So he called the supervisor. Supervisor was like, hey, Diddy didn't want this tape. How much you want for? How much should we charge him? He was like, tell him 50. So basically, he goes back to Diddy and says 50. All right, he's like, cool. When can you bring it over? He was like, whenever. So they end up meeting up or going somewhere else to meet up. He kept calling him his angel, everything the whole time. He's like, you my angel, man. You my angel. I just can't let this get out. So after he gets in this there, he gives him a whole bunch of cash. The dude Garcia, he needs to be looked at as a hero because he ended up getting 100K, still split it with his homeboy the same. He could have kept that other 50. He split it with his boy still. And they came, he split it correctly. And I was like, look at you, man, being a nice guy. But then he says that Diddy will hit him randomly on Instagram and be like, Happy Easter.
Oh, wow.
Randomly.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I feel like if the deal is done.
But you got to think, but when someone knows they're doing stuff wrong and they evil, you got to check on people to make sure that we still good.
Because the crazy part about all of this is like, we all know that they also recorded a version of this and he showed his wife.
Yep. And he said, he was like, we good, Happy Easter. Then I guess he replied about trying to get a job with Diddy. He didn't reply then. But then Diddy replied another time and said like Happy Hanukkah, some shit. I don't know, like if he just random holidays. He
and it's like, nigga, I done proved my look. Not saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so then Diddy was like, don't make no big purchases. He went out and bought him a car right after that.
Oh my God. Pax, listen, the animal wants to say hello.
Hey, Pax.
Because she hopped up and was like, what are you doing?
But that's just the funny part of this, of like how Diddy was like, and they say he was like real nice and like gregarious with them, and like,
of course, that's what narcissists do. That's what narcissists do.
Yeah, and then he had also, if anybody knows, D-Rock, who's Biggie's homeboy that he grew up with, he took the charges when Biggie and him was going to get locked up, I believe, in North Carolina for some gun stuff. He took the charges. D-Rock did, but then when D-Rock got out, he got back with Big, but then when Big passed, he kept still working with Diddy. And that's the dude that he met to start going to get to Diddy. When he was going to, he met D-Rock. D-Rock was the in-between man as well as the woman KK. So it was funny. So let me go back some. Garcia said that KK, when she called him, she was like, hey, is this, Mr. Garcia? He's like, yeah. She's like, then they said Diddy grabbed, you could hear Diddy snatch the phone. Hey, it's me, Playboy. Hey man, we can't let that tape get out.
Oh my
like
God.
He snatched the phone from her. Like, we can't let that tape get out, Playboy. What we gotta do? I need you to be my angel.
Yeah,
my angel. And I'm like, this dude is dastardly, man. Just a dastardly dude.
Yeah,
man. Just a dastardly dude.
This is, so yeah. So. I guess we should transition to Brianna Bologan, the ones that we, were talking about that also had immunity. She testified that she became friends with Cassie around 2014 when they designed clothes together at an LA streetwear company. Bongalan said that she avoided meeting Ventura's boyfriend, Sean Combs, for over a year because she considered the couple's relationship volatile. You know how you talk with coworkers and things like that. So you start to share certain information. She said at one point, Ventura showed up with the black eye. She testified earlier Wednesday while the jury was out of the courtroom. Prosecutors introduced evidence that included text messages between Combs and his bodyguard, D-Rock, discussing a black eye in an ice pack. And prosecutors suggested that it could be the same incident. Yeah. So also they go back and they do this recap like around noon. And so they say that over and over Wednesday morning, the jury watched the footage again from the sixth floor of the Intercontinental Hotel. And Combs thought that he had the only copy, or what was believed to be the only copy. But the security worker at the hotel, Israel Flores, had recorded a copy of the security footage, and Flores did this so he could prove to his wife what happened. He testified earlier in the trial. If I would have told my wife, "Hey, this happened," she wouldn't believe me. Okay, so you be lying to your wife all the time. What that got to do with anything?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. He's like, "Hey,
Look,
I'm telling you the reason I was late from work. I'm trying to
cause
tell you,
I'm late
Diddy."
coming home because I was talking to Puff Daddy.
And
So
be like, "Yeah,
Brianna,
right."
yeah. And Brianna also testified that she and Cassie would often do drugs together, primarily marijuana, cocaine, and ketamine. Combs also gave her drugs 3 or 4 times. She said, including GHB and ketamine. She admitted that she sold drugs to others, but not often. The witness also had a flat effect on the stand, speaking in a low monotone voice, giving short answers. She smiled once when she explained that her and Cassie had failed attempts to stop using. We would try to cook, but it was hard to get sober when there are a lot of drugs around. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then Diddy's attorneys, Nicole Westmoreland, she's been the dog on that team. Her and Young Thug's lawyer, both of them they've been trying to do the best they can. Like
Yeah.
from what I've read, they feel like they're doing the best they can with what they got. Like we ain't got
So I
much.
have a question. So do
Mhm.
we think, okay, so we talk about this in the whole RICO thing and the sex trafficking, and we've been open about they probably the sex trafficking thing might get thrown out or a
Mhm.
reduced sentence. Do you think that they're really gonna, at this moment, we see the evidence is there? Do you think it'll be as harsh of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why is especially if it comes out and it's known that they offer him a deal. If that is true, the state is going to look at, or the government is like, if you wasting time and money, you finna give us some
Yeah.
time and money back. Because that's what they look at it like. If you they call it, that's why they call it blowing trial. Like when you go to trial and you wasting their money, so you gonna have to do some time since you wasted our money.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be some and really it's gonna be and I know people be like, oh, Diddy will be fine financially. Man, if he gets convicted, man, it's a free-for-all for that money, man. Them kids ain't gonna have no bread like y'all think they are. Unless he was smart enough, and I'm sure he was, to have money shelved in different spots for them to make sure that they all good. But that money's gonna be gone if he is convicted, because it's a free-for-all then on the
Yeah.
bag. It's an open bag. If you can prove you was around Diddy at some point, it's an open bag for you. How much you want.
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
it's going. I think that I'm wondering if they're going to try to give immunity to that girl KK or to D Rock. D Rock, an old school cat from Brooklyn. No, I don't know
Okay.
if he gonna snitch, but if he doesn't, I wonder if they're gonna roll up and be like, "Well, you involved too? You want to either get locked up again because he already did time a significant amount of time before. Do you want
Right.
to do it again?" Now, and keep in mind, D Rock was the dude involved with the Lil Kim thing too. Keep that in mind.
Mhm.
He got locked up
Listen.
for that, for shooting at the quad. I mean, outside High 97. So he did
Yep.
2 bids in the last 20, 30 years.
Also, okay, so here's an update.
Yep.
So you have this is the Washington Post saying we've come to perhaps the most anticipated part of Brianna Bongolan's testimony. In 2016, she referenced her lawsuit against Sean Combs, where she said he dangled her over a high-rise balcony. She told the jury that she and her girlfriend were staying at her close friend Cassie's 17th floor condo in Los Angeles, sleeping on Ventura's couch when they heard Sean banging on the door. She jumped up and instructed her girlfriend to hide in the bathroom, holding her finger to her lips to indicate she should keep quiet. When she asked why she hit her girlfriend, she responded, "I didn't want to expose her to the things that I see." After hiding her ex-girlfriend in the bathroom of Cassie's apartment, Brianna testified that she walked out to the 17-story balcony and tried to act casual as Sean Combs entered the unit and went witness. The witness said Combs grabbed her from behind, lifted me up, and put me on top of the rail. I was just trying not to slip. Asked how long Combs held her over the railing, she recalled that he yelled at her, "You know what the fuck you did." So if you repeat the words over and over, it was about 15 seconds. The jury is looking at graphic photos, bandages, and a neck brace, and a baseball-sized bruise with a puncture wound in the middle of it. Brianna testified that Sean gave her those injuries when he dangled her over the high-rise balcony and then threw her into the patio furniture. Damn. While photos of Brianna's injuries were being shown in the court, Sean Combs leaned over to the attorney, Tenny Garagos. Is that Mark Garagos' wife or sister? Garagos and peered into the monitor displaying the images. Garagos' hands were steepled in the front of her face as Combs spoke to her. Combs, who had been leaning back in his chair and listening intently to her testimony.
Garagos is his lawyer.
Yeah, no. But okay, but Mark Garagos is a like a high profile attorney.
Right.
So yes. Mark Garagos often represents like Chris Brown or somebody. So I was like, oh, they related. That's what I was saying.
You know what? You know what? He may be.
Yeah. See, so I don't know. The name just clicks, and I said that.
That's not a common name either. So
it's not. So yes, so he spoke to his lawyer as Bongolan described her efforts to get sober and testified that certain details of the balcony incident in Cassie's lawsuit against Combs was incorrect. So the government also attempted to ask her, Brianna, about an alleged settlement offer between herself and Combs over the balcony incident. That questioning went nowhere. After a lengthy sidebar, the judge sustained the defense objections. She said she was seeking $10 million in damages in her lawsuit against Combs. A number says that was suggested by her lawyer. So now she was also she said she was seeking justice for what happened to me on that balcony. The suit was filed late last year in the Los Angeles Supreme Court. You could read about it in this link here. And she was being cross-examined by the defense attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, who started on a heavy note, speaking forcefully into the microphone. Who gets to decide if you have lied? I might. And so, of course, they're going to try to defame her character and, break her down. This is normal what happens. But she said Nicole Westmoreland was a late addition to the Sean Combs sprawling defense team, which includes at least 8 attorneys. She cross-examined just one witness before now, which was Don Richard.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot. And so a lot of this is just like I said, they were really pushing that, girl, you was pretty much this drug addict.
Mm-hmm. That's what the defense was doing. I mean, that was the best play the defense could use.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I know. I think some people on the other side taking it too personal. Like the defense is they're doing what the defense is supposed to do. That's what their job is. That don't necessarily mean they believe in what he did. Is that they're doing their job.
My job is again to get my
and maybe we're trying to mitigate. And I think honestly they're trying to mitigate the damage here at this point. Like they just hey man, I can't get you. And you know what? They might be lying to him because remember we did the story about the one lawyer that left, the brother that left. Yeah. Maybe they lying to him and saying, I think we can get you off, Diddy. And maybe the other one was like, hey, man,
I think should he get convicted, right? Because we talked about the jurors before.
Yep.
I think, the next thing that happens is they go in with, this is what we want. And then the prosecution going to say, well, this is what we want. And then they'll come to something. But I don't necessarily see Diddy doing 100 years. I don't see him spending. I don't see him spending the rest of his life behind bars. If I'm being honest,
he'll get a dime.
And that's mainly because he has more money than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And people talk about the R. Kelly thing. R. Kelly don't have no money. You got to pay to play.
Yep, and exactly because he sold all his masters to just even be like way before. People don't understand R. Kelly's making no money off his music, regardless if you play it or not.
Yeah.
He don't own his masters. That remember he was saying that in the in the residual song. Like, remember he's like, where are my residuals for my masters? On the phone, everybody. I'm working on the album artwork now from the Phone to Phone album. It's gonna be. I'm getting ahead of.
Well, Chris out of jail. Oh wait, that's not Chris. That would be Puffy and Diddy.
And Diddy, yeah, the Phone to Phone album. I'm working on the artwork, y'all. AI we're helping me out. It's trying to get it just right.
I'm not doing this.
It's gonna be a doozy, y'all. Phone to Phone. I might even record it myself and do both parts. I'm thinking about going that far with it. We'll see.
Listen, you at this point, you might as well stop putting it, stop saying it, and just call them people.
Hey,
hey, I got this idea, and I think we should meet. And then you have them sign like an NDA, like that, for your treatment or whatever for this concept.
Yeah, like, Phone to Phone.
And get it notarized, because then if they try to steal it, they got to pay you.
That's what I'm saying. We've never heard of an album. We've heard an album with one artist in jail, but we ain't never heard an album with both artists in jail. We ain't never heard that before.
Yeah,
it'd be groundbreaking.
I'm sick of you and your shit.
And then we got Tory Lane.
I'm so sick of you.
The whole thing could be just niggas in jail. We could just do it. All the album is just people that's in jail. The whole album is that Phone to Phone.
Oh,
who else in jail? We got Lil Durk on there. We'll throw him on the track.
Him looking confused and lost.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but we put him on the track. Who else is in jail? Tory Lane. Yeah. We got Diddy. We got is Lil Wayne in jail still?
No.
I was playing. Oh, what? Ain't the one little dude that I don't like from Florida? The one dude that murdered his friends. They had a mistrial. This down YNW Melly. We can have him.
Okay, yeah.
It's a whole the whole Phone to Phone thing. Maybe we just get the first single out first. I'm being too ambitious right now. Let's just get the first.
You
single.
are. Well, look, this is what we should expect tomorrow. Will attorneys bring long-awaited testimony from Jane, the pseudonym woman at the center of the government's second sex trafficking count against Sean Combs? The government sure hopes so. But the first defense needs to wrap up their spirited cross-examination of Brianna, who said Sean Combs dangled her over his girlfriend Cassie's balcony back in September of 2016. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland estimated that she needs another 45 minutes to cross-examine the witness. And then before the government calls Jane, it wants to call a witness named Enrique Santos, who will walk jurors through the formatting of the text messages that will be introduced in Jane's testimony. It's a short trial day tomorrow. Testimony isn't expected to kick off until 11 a.m. New York Standard Time, which is just EST.
We ain't done this. It's gonna be a long.
And I have to get in the habit of punching up notes daily, like with the recaps where it was important. So then when we go through, because we did cover a lot of ground today.
Yeah. Especially having missing a week.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like I think people just need to let the courts do what they do. I think that's the lesson here. If you didn't go to SLU or WashU or Howard or Harvard or anybody, shut up. You don't know. You don't know. You don't have the answers. You don't have the answers.
No, you don't. And look, Sway, you don't have the answers, as they say.
Yeah, Sway, you don't have the answers. But I wasn't trying to quote that, psychotic Gemini.
Well, Don, where can people get
phone to phone? Look at Sarah Smiles in the comment is cracking up. Phone to phone.
Hey, look, it's a movement. People been hitting me up about it, man. People been hitting me up about this Phone to Phone.
You better jump on it fast. You see what happened to Ray J with the Brandy and Monica tour.
That's true. I'm trying to figure out, should I wear like should I do, because I'm not dark skinned, so it's gonna be bad. It won't come off as well. I gotta find some people to play it. I'll write it. I just need some people to play it.
Oh, no. Okay, here's the thing. I think we could do a spoof when I come to St. Louis.
Maybe I can get us jail suits I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
It's like we need a spoof of phone to phone. Like maybe it starts there. Because then you could own that IP, and then from there it could transcend into something.
Yeah,
Like I think it needs to be a spoof.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about recording the whole song and doing both parts and putting it on YouTube and being like,
no, just call Roy. It could Roy and call Nitty, because Nitty looked like Puffy. So maybe I don't know. That might be touchy.
You know, it's touchy. That's
yeah,
too
I was like, giving
too much STL business. Too much STL business.
But I was gonna say you just need what you to say R. Kelly, your color. You could be R. Kelly, and then just get a chocolate brother, and then y'all phone to phone, and then we can get
maybe I get one of them braid things, the braid caps. You know,
and then we could have it like where it's like maybe me and somebody, and I could A&R the project.
All right, phone to phone's got to happen. It's got to happen now. Now you inspire me, Dom. Phone to phone has got to happen.
Yeah,
now.
I think
we got to figure this out.
I think it could be a good internet spoof.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Start our career. I think that'll start our career, and then you have a project that you're gonna be working on real soon that I'll be a part of, and then it'll be like, oh my God, that's the viral.
That's the dude from phone to phone.
And be like, yeah. You think it's small, you gotta be thinking big.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And we don't have to have like crazy. We can use our phones to shoot.
No, it don't have to be nothing like that. No, it doesn't have to be nothing crazy at all. Oh, phone to phone. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to get this cracking. But Don, where people hit you up at?
Y'all can find me everywhere on social media at St. Angeles, YouTube. What's this called? Instagram. I started Twitch. That's St. Angeles TV because somebody has my name. I'm trying to find them. I can't remember if it was an old profile that I had because I had it.
You probably did it. You probably had your own
activated profile. It. I never got a text message when I asked to reset the password or email. So somebody else has it, and I feel like that kind of feels familiar, but I don't really remember. It was so long ago I had a Twitch. So yeah, we on the Twitch. Will y'all be seeing us stream into Twitch? Having a good time.
All right. Well, thank y'all as always. We'll be back next week. Maybe next week. Phone to phone, y'all. If anybody want to be any ideas, producers out there, anybody along those lines, hit me up with some beats. For this phone to phone.
Yeah, for phone to phone. And then I might know somebody that's local that could probably.
No, I got some kids, but I would love if it was a listener.
Cool. Yeah.
I would love if it was a listener that was like, "Yo, I got some hot beats for you for this phone to phone."
It'd be a whole thing.
People that's in here.
Because then you might have to do a couple. Like you might have to do a series.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing a series. Yeah, I have to do a series.
It'll start with that one video, but then I would say have 2 more in your back pocket.
Phone to phone. Shout out to y'all.
I can't stand you, and I can't believe I'm.
Thank you, Don. See, now you on board. That's what a homie supposed to do. That's what a homie's supposed to do.
You're mad.
You're doing exactly what a homie supposed to do.
I'm going to feed my animal.
All right. All right. See y'all.